He is the son of a Macon piano store owner. Years later, the notes have changed, but the Buckhead artist extraordinaire, an impressionist with an international and national following, is reaching a very large audience. Steve Penley, an important name in Washington, D.C. political circles with Republicans and Democrats alike. His vibrant colors, historical portraits, and gorgeous flowers are his Southern signature. Much has been written and said about this UGA alum the last few years, but Steve Penley, ever true to his Middle Georgia roots, values anchored in simplicity like enduring friendships.
What about this state do you think defines the work that we see behind us?
The connection I have with the people. I think the Georgian people are the best people in the country, and they're the friendliest, and so I guess if my work reflects that, it happens subconsciously maybe, but I love the state and I love, the people here. It's a family in a way, not that. My foundations in art, especially when I was elementary school, they were so, which became my genre later on, they were so Americanized. Like the Apollo mission was such a part of all of us, when we were little. And I mean, I must have drawn those astronauts like Buzz Aldrin and all those guys like over and over again, and just back when we were kids, we knew those were our superheroes.
You've met so many famous Georgians. Vince Dooley, I know, is such a great friend of yours.
He was one of the greatest people I've ever known, and it's a huge loss for me. And I know a lot of Georgians too, but personally,
nothing quite like him.
He and I started out doing fundraising together years ago, and that's how we developed a friendship. It was a great friendship, and but I would have felt a loss even if I'd never been friends with him, I think. He loved to talk about the flea flicker, against Alabama back in, 1842. but he says that he was the inventor of the flea flicker I'm sure, but he probably was. But he talked about that. He loved that play.
I always think that we have had these people here for so long in our community that have been so much a part of our lives that we never think of them leaving, but when they do leave, there's such a void and they are so irreplaceable. It's not the same without them, and Dooley is one of those figures.
It was a huge loss. I never knew, how much of a part of my life he was, but it was a privilege to have had such a good friendship with him over the years. I mean, it's one of the greatest privileges I've ever had. I've had a personal relationship even with a lot of these people in these places, and so it's a part of me and part of everyone who grew up here.